Welcome everybody to another episode of MCR. We'll go around the round table of everyone that's here and their roles here at ATG. But welcome. Again, if you have questions specific to Bluebeam, we can bring those up. This is more of just a conversation today. But if you do have questions around Bluebeam, as always, I can bring up review and we can walk through some of those things because this time it's for you all to ask us questions as well. But first, what we're going to go through and do is we're going to talk about who's here. So we'll let you guys introduce yourselves. You all know Matt. Matt's been on here plenty of times, but we'll start with Brian. Matt can give a little intro and then we'll go to Jeff. So
cool.
Brian.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Brian Weeks. I'm the architectural production manager here at ATG, and I've been in architecture for 26 years and been here at ATG for 6.
Nice. Quick.
Yeah. Good morning, Matt Lynn, Director of Architectural and Structural Services. I was in architecture for 17 years, and then I've been here for almost seven and a couple months.
Jeff Kuhn, Architectural Consulting Manager here at ATG. I'll be coming up on 4 years in November here at ATG. Previously, I've been
4 years now?
Yeah.
Dang. That's one.
Where'd it go?
Two to sabbatical.
Yeah.
And then previously, I was in architecture for 17 years.
Nice. So a lot of architecture, a little bit of structure here. Great experiences. And we were talking yesterday, Matt and I, because we're like, hey, MCR, you want to join me, Matt? Because we talked about it. And then he's like, yeah, why not bring the whole crew? So we're all here for a tech summit. ATG every year hosts a tech summit where we fly out all of our technical staff to do continuing education for the whole week. Well, it's like 2 days, but us as leaders came a little bit earlier. We're gonna have a bunch of meetings today, but figured it'd be great to have these folks on, especially with talking about AI and innovation. When I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking about AI in general because it's a buzzword. Everyone's talking about it. What enhancements are people doing? What is out there? I guess first and foremost, let's start with what is out there. What currently is truly AI that is being used and adopted in our industry so far? Is there a solution out there?
I think test fit is a big one currently.
So test fit's the one with the site
Right.
layout of
You
the.
essentially draw a street. Like if you have an area that you're trying to develop, and they're very rarely a square, you can essentially draw lines which would indicate the streets, and you can tell how wide you want the street, and then you can say how big you want the lots, and it'll automatically fill the space and maximize the number of lots based on your parameters. I think that's the coolest one.
Test fit. All right, let's bring it up.
And is that AI, or is it just a programming algorithm that says, here's my algorithm?
Generative design.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, is that really AI?
Well, it
Is it
is.
artificial intelligence doing it?
Is AI generative design? Does one of the same?
I don't know. How are we going to quantify? I guess would be the question, right? So this is what you're talking about right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a parking layout as well.
So they have a site solver. Decline.
I don't know if we're talking about AI in general. I think chat and visualization are probably
The two
the two big ones right now that
Chat GBT.
that are really sort of
So chat would be like an assistant, helper, documentation. What else?
Everything. ChatGPT runs our life.
Scripts for
Scripts for
families in Revit.
You can actually do Dynamo. You can come up, it'll do scripts for Revit too, for Dynamo scripting too, if you tell it.
Yeah, they have a mini code chat now, which is like, I use that more than the, what is it, the 4.5, because they only give you so many deep research in a month if you don't pay for the premium.
Yeah.
Like you pay for it, and then there's another one above that you pay extra for.
Mhm.
But okay, so test fit would be number one that we're looking at from a solution perspective. Now, that was a great question that you're saying, is it generative? I don't know. I think it's kind of a bridge between both, right? Because it is automated.
Mhm.
What was that one doing? The one with the contours?
I don't know.
Avoid risk.
Avoid risk early.
Well, I guess-
Doing site constraints.
Mhm.
mean, so if you think of it from a technical standpoint, AI being artificial intelligence, where you are sort of like with chat, you're generating a conversation with that.
Well, I mean, this is actually saying powered by AI, which, what does that mean? I guess we'd have to test it, but it's generating off of code parameters. So it's researched or inputted code parameters that it can then go through and create generative design for you. So it's a blend where they're actually calling out generative design, but it's using powered by AI because it probably has some type of code inputted into it.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Like you inputted the text.
Yeah, there's a structure to it so that, you have to stay within that bounds. But does it go beyond that? I think that's what generative design versus AI is.
It's not cheap.
No.
Look at that. It's $8,000 a year for Site Solver. Data maps, urban planner. Well,
Now,
okay.
there is a free module in Forma.
Yes. So that's where you were going with that, right? So if users are using an Autodesk product called Forma, which would be an SD, a lot of people ask us here at ATG as well, like, what is Autodesk's version of SD schematic design phase? And it is Forma. Yeah.
I think over time, more and more will be invested in Forma. You'll see a lot more going
I wanna
into it.
see
They've
the
already
chart
put
right here.
Format is now
Format.
starting to integrate into Forma using the Format tools to mask and generate building forms and design
Design
from a
specs.
conceptual perspective. Yeah.
over
Yes.
time, we'll just see more and more platforms going in.
To Forma.
Right.
Yeah. Basically, well, I mean, a lot of what Autodesk does is creates a solution and then doesn't build beyond it and encourages open source APIs, right? Yeah. Okay. So that was that one. What's the other one?
Do we have any questions in the chat?
No, that's why I just closed out chat. No questions.
Well,
These are
of
like
course,
AI notes.
images, I mean,
Image generation.
that's
That's where it started, right? You'd say for our industry?
I think it started for our industry, probably visualization, but I think in general, I think it was text. Hey, help me do this. And I think that's where it really started.
Yeah, some people weren't using it yet for that, and that's where you can get a lot of movement and time back in your day to be more effective and efficient would be using something like ChatGPT to make your work more effective, your time more valuable.
But images and visualization, I think is a huge one.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of controversy in that too, so.
Would you guys use it, being from an architectural standpoint? Because that's where the visualization comes through, is that pre-schematic design phase. Would you use it? And what solution is currently out there that has that?
There's Midjourney.
Midjourney,
Which is really a gaming engine.
really?
But I think I would guess it started more in gaming than architecture. We're just kind of piggybacking on what's already there.
From the visualization perspective,
from
yeah.
visualization,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's where Twinmotion from Epic Games, right? Like that was back engine of video game design.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the advantage to that is it allows you to generate multiple options. So, you can think of, if you're sitting down, you're critiquing, you're trying to formulate ideas, you can always come up with, a handful, where I think the AI generation helps kind of bridge that gap to generate more ideas that you may not even thought about, and kind of gives you that advantage. And it's also time savings. If you think about how much energy and time it takes into conceptualizing ideas and designs, it's a time-consuming process.
Yeah, and I think it unbounds a lot of pre-design, right? Where we're so what you're taught, what you're looking at from like a creative perspective, everyone's kind of boxed in to their thought process, their creativeness, and thinking outside that.
Yeah.
AI allows you to bridge that gap.
Right. And I think I've said this before, maybe even last time on MCR, but at no point you'll crank something out from Midjourney or whatever you're using and say, yep, that's it, I'm doing exactly that.
Right.
But that's what I would think. I'd be like, that's what I'm doing right there.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but
it
at no
probably
point you
is.
would. Because you might say, oh, I never thought about taking and moving that entire function over there and making it curved, and then that you'll go down a different path. So it's very early as the exploratory phase.
Yeah, it's to show you more concepts within the design to
Right.
develop.
Which will
into.
spur even more things that it didn't show you in your head based on what you're, opening your parameters up to allow.
Well, that's where a lot of the controversy is coming from is the imaging and visual aspect, because you have artists that actually are artists and they create and they paint and they digital art and all the production designers and stuff for movies and stuff. That's all original artwork, right? So the conflict now is artists that are saying I'm an artist, but they just using the AI to generate art. They're putting that out as original work, which it technically is original work, but it was done by AI and not by a person. That's actually the artist coming up. So there's a very fine line with that too, that using AI to create artwork. And I'm seeing it in some of my personal stuff right now with my Star Wars club that I'm in, because we have members that use AI to create fun generative artwork for Star Wars stuff that we do to promote. But we have club members that are actually, they do stuff for Marvel, and they're actually comic book artists, and they do this stuff by hand, pen and ink and so on. And there's a real conflict between AI, is it right or wrong? And
Well, they just did that for YouTube. You know that? They just did it for YouTube where they don't let you monetize if it's an AI created video.
Okay.
And they're doing that with STLs now too, on multiple 3D print sites. If you go to download the STL files for 3D printing, that can't be AI generated. They have to be original STL files created by that person to be posted and sold.
Yeah.
Because what was happening is a lot of people were taking the designs, like if you see those dragons that are segmented and stuff, and they take that and they alter it and regenerate it into different forms, utilizing the same original design. Anyway, that's a whole
Yeah, that's
thing.
they basically did it so that people can't create channels and monetize it and profit off
Yes,
it.
off of other people's designs.
It was more of just like, because AI, there's a bunch of AI videos out there in terms of on YouTube where you're making a script, having AI speak through it, and it's doing it all, like it's all self-run essentially almost.
So should you or shouldn't you? I think that's the big question.
Well, you just don't get monetized. I mean, those people won't make
Well,
money.
no, I mean just AI in general. As professionals, should we or shouldn't we?
I think it's just
Like I said,
It's a tool. That's my opinion.
I think it's okay as long as you're not saying, yep, that's it. I mean, even then, that's probably okay. But in general, you're never going to say, that's it, I'm doing exactly that.
You're going to tweak.
It's just spurring ideas.
I
and
compare
thoughts.
it to, go back to the library and go through architectural history books that you would do for studios, and you're studying and trying to come up with some unique designs.
Yeah.
But you're influenced by the previous history of architecture. For example.
I even think what YouTube is kind of overstepped, because it's not AI generating AI, right?
Right.
You just blew my mind. Say it again.
It's not AI generating AI to profit.
People.
It's
Yeah.
somebody using a tool to generate some type of income. Does that make sense? So like, at the end of the day, we're establishing this together of where the line is drawn. I think when you have an issue of like AI generating AI, meaning auto thinking, auto publishing, auto doing everything, then that's an issue, right? Like that's not an individual.
Yeah.
Then it's going to come down to a classification of, is AI an individual, which we're not at that point yet, but at some point we probably will be. That'll be a replay back on the YouTube world where I said that.
Sure.
AI thinking of itself. So, but yeah, at that point it's a tool, right? Like what we're doing, creating families is another great solution. So for those Revit users out there, or even coding in general, when I was doing the custom stamps for Bluebeam, you could use chat to help you formulate your JavaScript. So those are just things that you're thinking about as you're innovating and sitting there. I mean, even when the cogs aren't turning and you're trying to create a Revit family, you can just quickly have it create the formula for you and you're good to go. So as long as it would have taken us to go to your office, be like, Matt, I can't figure, or call you, I can't figure out this formula, like your assistant's right there with you that can help you in 5 seconds. So They're just tools that we're pushing boundaries. So I just looked up Autodesk, but before I share the screen, because I love to pick at what where the industry is currently at. I guess it's just my chat. Is there anything in the chat? Yeah, there's a question. There's also a module on the ACC now. Yeah, so that's what I was going to pull up and see what they have right here. So I looked up what Autodesk has currently in the AI space. So they have some examples, I guess is what it's saying. Autodesk Assistant in ACC. So has anyone used that?
No, because it's mostly for, like it says there, for the specifications sectioning in the specifications module inside of
Is it this
ACC. Yeah, it's really more of a tool to utilize to find sections within your specifications to quickly identify that information. But then what it's also going to do, and I think it's a separate piece that's an add-on to build and everything else, is that it will generate your spec scheduling.
Your submittal schedule?
Yes, there's submittal schedule from the specs.
Yeah, that's what auto specs is, that one.
Yeah.
The one down below. Yeah.
So is that automation or is it AI?
I think that's more automation, but you can utilize the chat, AI chat, to quickly find the information through those resources. So
that's almost like a search engine. It's not truly AI.
I don't think it's truly AI yet, yeah, in this regard.
And they have some other stuff here. So this is what they have so far. So to me, none of this shows like AI intent from Autodesk.
Aren't they bringing Clippy back? Wasn't that a thing?
Yes, that was a thing.
Bring him back.
Now, I think there's some AI tools inside of AutoCAD now.
Is it Clippy?
That was Clippy right there. Yeah. It made the noise too. That sounded like Clippy. Autodesk Assist. Yes, this is what they have so far. So these are all automation tools. They don't feel like the issue that we're having with our industry is that they're trying to jump on the bandwagon of AI, and really it's just automation.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to talk about today when I brought this topic up to no one but myself, was to debunk what's AI and what's not, but also talk about AI innovations and where things are currently. So this, to me, I don't think is AI in the current state.
No.
Bluebeam also has one that they said was AI, and I'll talk about it because it's not. But it's supposed to be further in the future. So Bluebeam has the auto page. So it's just taking the, it's like 36 or something, that a certain amount of points on a PDF to overlay them. So when you're going through and comparing, yeah, I haven't updated, I know, it's fine. When you're going through and overlaying pages, you can have it do what's called an auto align. And they said when it was released, that's AI. It's truly not. It's looking at the contents of a page size and then just aligning it by the page extents. So it's just automating that process.
Yeah.
There's no true AI yet, I think, in both fields, Bluebeam or even Autodesk. There are third-party applications like TestFit, rendering solutions, you would say, that are truly having AI innovations. Some clients are using ChatGPT API connections to Revit to do commands.
Seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah.
So that would be a good one where that's you chatting with an AI solution that's plugged into your design environment, which would be automating your processes, but you're using a chatbot to fulfill the commands for you. Right? Which would be AI.
Yeah, you can say draw a square building 40 by 40, 12 feet high with a standing seam roof. Yeah, and it'll do it. It's pretty cool.
And that's all from just, again, API integration into Autodesk products. There hasn't been anything from like a development that I've seen through review, which would be cool, using ChatGPT. I think majority of the coders are more into the Revit environment, but if you were like an estimator, you could use something like Bluebeam as a PDF solution. Hey chat, search for all of these items using the search function, visual search in Bluebeam to go and automate some type of estimation. not there, of
Give you
course, but
quantities and square footages.
yeah, on portable document formats, right? What else? Is there anything else out there that you guys have seen?
Oh, what's the chat say? Anyone chiming in here?
Yeah, Neil said we tried to use the photo auto tag and it called a cat a piece of ductwork.
Was it a big cat?
That's pretty funny.
Wafer unbound, Doug says. So is there something that you know, Doug? Oh no, that was Doug. Doug, is there something that you know that's truly going to be AI that is revealed at Unbound that we don't know? So I know of some things on the horizon, but I'm not going to be able to say anything. Is that Versa you were saying, Caitlin?
Varus.
Varus. There we go. Have you used Varus?
I have. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's a generator. You can say, make this building look like Frank Lloyd Wright designed it. Now Zaha Hadid, and it'll apply their styles to a. I mean, it's a good, again, idea generator. You're never gonna go with like, yep, that's it. But it's a good idea generator.
Yeah. So it's like the other one that you were saying earlier. It's
like Midjourney. They do similar things.
It's basically they compiled, just like chat did, things out there in the interweb.
Right.
And then from there, it's allowing it to create concepts with you via chat input. Just like, I mean, you can create, I created that logo the other day, and Chat GPT has a version of Video Creator in and of itself. I forget what it's called. But yeah, I used that the other day. So it's pretty cool. But I don't think there's anything else out there that currently is truly AI yet. And Doug, I would love to hear your thoughts, but I'm assuming you can't tell us if you know something that Bluebeam's coming out with. If you look at they have what's the testing place? I forget what it's called. Oh, Bluebeam Labs. Wait for Unbound. Cool. I'll wait for Unbound then. I just booked my flights and my stay. So I'll be there Monday through Friday in Washington, D.C. Yeah, that's such a far trip from Phoenix. How far would it be for you guys?
To DC.
Yeah.
No idea. Never been there.
You never been to D.C.?
A flight?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 2 hours.
Jeff and I were there last year for AIA.
Oh, you guys went there for AIA? Was it fun?
Oh, yeah. I used to live there a long, long time ago, so it's a fun town if you've never been.
Like you used to
Take in the sights. We lived across the Potomac in Indian Head Naval Base, but it's like 30-minute drive from downtown DC. So
Okay.
it's fun. It's very cool town if you've never been.
Is it more of a city or kind of more of like a town?
It's a historic city. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to see historic buildings and locations on every freaking street corner.
Yeah, everywhere you
It's
go.
amazing. If you're into that, right? Lots of people. It'd be pretty warm this time of year. Of course, everywhere's warm this time of year.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, touch it. Let me know. Jeff and I can give you some pointers, some good places to go. It's a very cool town. Definitely suggest the bus tour. If you can take the red bus tour, it'll take.
I don't think we'll have time for that, but I know there's like a tour or something with
Okay.
Bluebeam. Try it from Vancouver. How long's your flight, Doug?
I don't think Vancouver will be that much.
Monday at 6. Yeah.
Yeah, go to the African American History Museum.
Yeah, we'll have to see what we have time stuff for. I'll probably go Tuesday. Will probably be the only day before the actual event stuff. Do stuff and then fly out Friday because it's 2 full days of actual classes at Bluebeam this year,
Nice.
which is pretty crazy because Autodesk University is only 2 days, right?
Mhm.
Is it?
That was 3.
Well, usually
It feels like it's a week.
Yeah, but when we travel there, I feel like it's the first day isn't anything, and then you have
The first day you like set up the booth and you
Yeah.
enroll and register and do all the things. And
That's when we went out and kind of did a running around town. It was the first day after we got the booth set up, we were
Yeah.
able to run around.
Yeah.
The bus tour is it's like an hour round trip, and it takes you through, you can hit all the spots. I'll send you the info. It was really cool.
And then the second day is teaching,
Right.
and then you have another day of teaching,
Yeah.
and then it's over.
But then it's during the day, so you can go do stuff at
Is it
night.
2? I don't know.
I'm
It just
pretty
something-
sure-
Don't they have like
All right.
these ceremonies and stuff on the third day?
No, I feel like
Either way, yeah, you'll have a good time. It's
Big conference day.
I'm
It
confused.
might be 2. I don't know. It just it's such a long week. It's crazy to think it's really only 2 days.
Went to the history, the architecture, the design museum.
No, it's actually it is more.
Is it 3 days?
So the welcome reception's on a Monday, general sessions Tuesday, keynotes, yep, so it's full day sessions Tuesday, Wednesdays, full day sessions. And then Thursday, same thing, sessions because there's the expo hall. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
So it
3
is 3
days.
days.
Yeah. Because the welcome reception is kind of like a add-on 4th day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll have
It's a
fun.
full week.
It's fun.
it is a full week and it's tiring.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
Good food.
Yeah, this year it's going to be in
Nashville.
Nashville.
We're gonna definitely get your steps in.
I won't be going. Matt's going.
I'll be there.
So if any of you are going to AU versus Unbound, Matt will be there. You can meet him in person as well. But Unbound will be Jason, myself, and Jolie. But what else? AI? Any other questions about that? I always get confused in these chats. It's like the actual chat. I'm arriving. If you're at 5 a.m. Yeah, I had a flight early. I was early yesterday, 3. Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, Unbound is 2 full days of teaching, so that's, I don't know. I guess that's a good mix in my perspective, because if you're not able to attend, you're probably gonna have 3 classes a day. You didn't learn everything you wanted, you have another 3 days. Versus AU, which is like full days,
Active,
Oh, yeah.
consistent.
meeting after meeting.
So if you guys had a wish list, what would you guys want the newest AI to be?
I'd like to see a true document generator. I've seen a couple that are very similar to, in other words, being able to take a Revit model. Here's the design. Here's all my views, plans, elevations, blah, blah, blah. Now put them on sheets and auto dimension stuff according to my standards. And I think that's a huge, for architect firms and construction documentation are, people we talk to day after day. That's the biggest time suck for a lot of firms. Now, again, I'm saying that knowing that if that happens, we lose
But do we?
customers. But would we? Yeah. I mean, depends on how good it is, if we do lose that.
But so basically what you're saying is somebody creates a model and it does everything else for you.
With the exception of, I don't think you could have, well, I say that, but I don't think you could have a AI do details and sections.
Why not?
Because,
Who taught you how to do details?
several of my architecture mentors.
So why can't they teach AI?
I think, well, you have
Right.
to think of how it needs to be generated for AI to recognize what it is that needs to be tagged and
Do you think
entered.
there'll always have to be a human element
I do,
to detailing?
because if you're
Do you guys, do
using,
you two agree?
The human element could be the text prompts.
it could be,
Because in detailing, you have to make a lot of decisions. You could put those decisions into a text prompt.
but to tag it through Revit, like a detail line can't be tagged, right? So if you have a line as a vapor barrier or something like that drawn in your detail, even default Revit, you can't tag. You couldn't go, hey, do this line, and every time you see this line, it's going to be a vapor barrier, right? Like if I was using auto tag, if I was using like keynotes or something like that, where it tags it. In my head, I think the AI program would have to have that ability to go in and auto tag stuff and know what it is, right? So if it's a
You would just condition it. It would say in these conditions.
right, or if it's this, I mean, you'd have to be able to you'd have to say this line type is going to be specifically this or something.
Could be a line-based family, which you can tag. I mean, there's a lot of workarounds. You just have to text prompt
It'd
to
have
get
to
there.
be
Yeah.
a little different.
So you think it'd be like less drafters, more experienced, and reviewer inputters? That'd be the next evolution, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. A code review would be my AI request. Something that could go in and just review the code, create code study sheets, egress plans, occupant loads, just like do the code study and say, hey, red flag, this is gonna ping you. So
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one.
Well, but it kind of gets into that idea of, utilizing the AI as a collaborative tool, but also as a resource. I think from a sustainability standpoint, when we're looking at buildings and structures from an environmental capacity, utilizing the AI to help us not necessarily value engineer, but to make our buildings cleaner, healthier, and safer.
Yeah. And the compilation of data from like previous builds and construction, I think will help
Exactly.
innovate that forward. So Isaac said, I think the biggest hurdle will be trying to get to correlate symbols and designs on the print to correct piece of the drawing. Going to be very difficult for it to infer things. Yes, that's like us saying the input versus non-input. Is Carrie still who does your MCR marketing? No, she's not. Carrie actually departed with us. She went somewhere else. I forget where she went to. I wear my t-shirt almost every week. Yeah, we should be getting some. Actually, I'll talk to Whitney, who's our marketing director, about what swag we'll get for Unbound. But back to the innovation. Yeah, so you guys are thinking from that perspective. That's where focus should be put, or that's what you would think. Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking pain points that we have clients that come to us.
Well, so the pain point is because they don't have.
They can't find, I mean, from what I was talking about with the shop, or, creating construction drawings and invitations, finding experienced interns that can do that to match the standards of the company they're working for.
Yeah, I was reading a post from, what's that guy out in Australia?
The Aussie BIM guru, Gavin Crump.
Yeah, I was talking to him because he said that people are like looking for 3 years, like 1 month to 3 years, it ranges, as interns or new architecture graduates to get a job in the industry. Because most places require 4 years of experience or past experience in the design solutions.
Mhm.
So they're leaving school. I know you. I don't want to pick too deep into it because I know
Yeah, you're
we'll go down a wormhole. Ryan has a huge passion for this, but basically, there's a huge gap, and in order to replace that gap, you can use AI, right?
So we should use AI for education, to bridge that gap.
That's true.
I didn't think about it that way. So using AI to teach someone.
Teach interns the proper way to
Yeah.
create construction drawings.
Now there are some AI LMSs out there. Well, Bleed Train being one, and there's others,
Full circle. Look
Yeah.
at that.
but there are others.
Well, but it also gets into the debate of looking beyond construction documentation. When we are modeling things almost to like a digital twin in some cases, and utilizing the model from a construction standpoint, do we need that documentation anymore?
I mean, that's been a question for ages, even before AI. And it's a dangerous one. As an architect, it makes me nervous because, we all sort of cheat in the model when the deadline's coming. In which case you wouldn't be able to cheat anymore because then it's, if you're modeling incorrectly and putting a Band-Aid on it, aka like a what's a drafting, the white
Fill region, masking.
a masking region, yeah. I mean,
There was a
You
project in
shouldn't
Europe a
never-
couple of years ago where they, I think it was a bridge or something that they had constructed basically all from a digital model. They had no documentation.
that's awesome. That puts a lot of liability on the designers.
That's
So they would be liable more so. And then
The
also,
contractor can say, was modeled. Wasn't there.
but they say the same thing for construction documents, right?
true.
Yeah, but you could, yeah.
You're saying that you can
It's
make
easier
it
to,
better from a fabrication, construction standpoint and documentation than a model.
in your example, to have a spec book. Okay, spec book can catch a lot of mistakes.
But you're utilizing the model for fabrication. So everything is all in that single source of truth, essentially.
I mean, we just are now required to submit digital documents, so maybe the next step would be to require to submit a digital model. But then I think it comes back full circle. That's where AI would definitely make that more streamlined. So if an AI solution is doing code review on your model, right? Same thing that the city municipality will use to review your model.
Right.
No one's reviewing it, right?
And then they just look at the report and spit it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because I mean, if we just looked at that company, what was it called?
Which company?
The track,
Oh,
the
test fit?
test fit. They had a code reviewing and generated design.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, we just looked at that.
Nice.
So
I
like,
knew there was some out there. I haven't tried any. Has anyone in the,
look at it right here.
nice, I like it.
So if you're able to take the set of rules that people abide by when you're doing code reviews, right? That's what it is. You memorize the code reviews.
Has anyone done this in the chat? Anyone at all? Curious to see how it went.
No. It's, what's it called? They don't even say what that one's under. Do they? The cost, like which one is it, you know?
It's giving me flashbacks to the exam level because there's several. of
I mean,
those
the-
calculations To calculate the building clearance. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
Off of the angle.
So what, this is 3,000 a month.
Link section showing it.
I wonder what that one is. Oh, I guess it says it right here.
It's all of it. Yeah, if you want all of it, you go to the far right of this.
They call it custom. They should just call it everything.
Yeah, I mean, they have literally direct Revit, CAD, SketchUp integrations. Okay, I'll stop share so I can look at the chat. I'm having an issue with, I'm just gonna share my actual chat, so let's see. There are some cool AI schools, yeah, popping up. We've used TestFit. It works well for evaluating a site for design options. Yeah.
Good. Have they tried it for the
The code? Oh no, Rob, have you guys tried it for the code? Or it's Bob, sorry. I think that would be a great part of innovation as well. Again, anything we see, the issue with our industry is we are having a shortfall of experienced people in the industry, right? Where people are retiring, and then not enough people are coming into the industry. So we are kind of creating our own
Yeah.
need for it, right? And when there's a need for it, people are obviously going to capitalize on that. And there just may not be any replacement. They said not for a particular design for building code, but for zoning compliance, yes.
Good. And it worked well.
We'll see. Yeah, Bobby he wants to know if it worked well or not. But that would be You remember those two gentlemen we met at Autodesk University?
We met a lot of gentlemen.
The two college kids
Yes.
that created that solution?
Yeah.
So these kids were from the UK, and they were creating an AI-driven red line review for schools. They created it, and they were partnering with Autodesk. So think about that. Instead of having to go and review documents to make sure they actually did everything correctly, right? What if, again, the city or municipality, you have so many code reviewers, why not just that does it for you?
Mhm.
Right. Well, those municipalities, they're understaffed and they're trying to push projects through. And there's sometimes those code reviews take months.
Yeah. If they could just say, yep, the report said it's good, it's good.
Submit it in the morning, get it back by the night.
I'd get a permit that evening. Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be crazy, right?
I mean, they're already sort of doing that with ComCheck. I don't know if any of you use ComCheck, but for energy compliance, some municipalities say, hey, run the ComCheck, give me the report, and that's a check mark. That way they don't have to do that. But that's just for energy compliance. Take that same concept to the entire building, and then you got something.
Then you're moving it forward.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's just all those mundane things that we don't want to do is probably where it will start, and then it may push forward past that. Right.
That would be sweet.
So to answer your question, Matt, about does it work? I said it does work well, as you can see options that comply with zoning by dragging wings of the building, pushing and pulling, doing the normal, that would take hours. So,
Nice. Yeah. Can
um,
we take him off mute? We'll get more questions. I'd like to know, did he have to put in the parameters for that specific zone? Or could you just put in an area and it knows the parameters of that zone, like setbacks and so forth?
Yeah.
Like, how did it know the setbacks? How did it know the FAR? Like, did you put those in, or did you just put in where it is and then extract those values?
We'll find out.
Okay.
We'll jump to Neil's thing where he said, doesn't ICC digital codes have an add-in to your digital models? Not sure how effective it is. It's a Revit add-in, I guess, ICC digital codes.
I haven't.
I'm getting ready to pull it up.
Yeah, he sent it in the chat. We'll click on it in a second as Bob replies to Matt's endless questions.
Sorry, Bob.
All right. So it sounds like you are interested in that type of tool.
Yeah, sure. We should make one. Let's make one this afternoon.
So this looks like tools to help design professionals succeed. It's all the codes and the projects in one place. But we'll go back. Bob says it knows some zoning regulations for various locations, so it can be very useful.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it probably knows the location where it's at.
GIS.
So I was gonna say
extraction.
GIS extraction would probably be the easiest.
And then it probably just took all the code requirements for those areas by GIS location, right? So
That's cool.
Possibly. Yeah. Every jurisdiction is some kind of different.
yeah, it says it downloads the regs for those municipalities.
Okay.
Oh,
And it probably understands it, and then it just gives you what those can be. That's cool.
there you
This is all data input, meaning it looks for it, grabs it. And that's like where code, things that are written down, standard operating procedures, these things can be easily generated into AI because it has
go.
something
You just,
already.
yeah, give it the data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like those are the processes. And then that's come back full circle to Brian's full thing about AI and how you would want somebody to help automate those practices. How right now, when our current workflow is digital and it's a model, right? How do you feed that into an AI solution to standardize it?
Have to be in. You mean like the process?
How would it know your standards?
Right. You'd have to,
You'd have to give it.
Right now, it's text input.
sure.
You'd have to give it like historical data.
If it was learning, yeah, I would think if it's true AI, you would give it different PDF documentation sets that it would review and say, okay, they have 80 pages in your complete construction document set and this many I mean, Bluebeam can already read sheet numbers and names and create indexes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would probably be the same process. It would be reading the text or the graphics, both.
Portable document format.
Yeah. I would think it worked the same way.
To create the standards for your
Create
company.
a standardized, okay, they put, this firm puts their floor plan up here, this firm puts their floor plan over here, and that kind of arrangement, I think, could be done through almost with a Bluebeam review plugin even.
So do people have standards they're willing to share with an AI solution?
I don't think it necessarily has to be a question of sharing the standards because you're not actually using. I don't think you can call a company's sheet layout intellectual property.
How many companies currently even like working in ACC because it's owned by Autodesk?
Sure. Well, that's
That's where it goes.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
different.
what, does everyone else have access to these? That's the question.
yeah.
Like, if I put my standards up there, can that architect across the street?
See,
I don't want that to happen.
I think that would be
fine.
the line of, that would be a legal documentation to say, your documents aren't going to be public. We're just looking at standardized layouts.
Yeah, how can you partition the intellectual property?
I will tell you, any solution that can grab data is the most prized after commodity, I feel like, nowadays, right? Like any information that you get to propel things forward, you can look at movements in like, the current economy states, you can look at it from like what we do. Data is big. So, and I understand why people, architectural firms, engineering firms, anyone in the AEC space doesn't want to give out intellectual property because it's time and data that they've spent to make their practice more effective, more efficient, or diversify themselves. That being said, like we're already in this cloud space to be more effective and more efficient. We don't own our data that lives up there either.
Mhm.
So there's this question of, do we want to be more effective, more efficient at our job, embrace AI, but give pieces away of our process?
Or do those organizations start building their own AI?
That's where it'll be.
And just not cloud hosted? I mean, 'cause-
It would be their own cloud hosted AI model. I think there's going to be a big push in the industry for companies that develop AI to create enclosed cycles of modules. So that's probably what will happen. Let's see what I miss.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you could say, hey, I really like the way HOK drawings look. I'm gonna build a model. Now create documents that look like HOK standards, like that'd be sweet.
Or even like the details, like, Brian was saying, like detail inputs, create this type of detail. It's going to be an inputter, right? I feel like we're reaching this evolution of you have to embrace technology and AI where it's going, not technology, AI, and become a more effective inputter, right? Like somebody new to ChatGPT, are they going to be able to immediately create some type of Revit formula for it to work? Probably not.
Yeah.
That first chat is not going to be a very good
Right.
formula output, right?
You have to become friends with Chad before you can really get anywhere.
Yeah. Your best friend.
I always greet Chad in the morning, by the way.
Yeah.
I say,
How
"Hi,
you
Chad."
Are you like,
Keep
what
it
should I have for
personal.
breakfast?
Bunch of data.
Let's see, what did I miss? So Bob added too, I haven't tried it for areas, no overlay zones and more complex codes, but for typical setbacks, FAR, etc., it can be streamlined things quite a bit.
That's awesome.
And Neil said, I still feel there's always going to be a dependency of how good modeling comes across and how to interpret this data, garbage data and garbage out data. I mean, that's pretty typical. Majority of the times, that's what we talk with clients about, right? Modeling, education, within that best practices.
Standardizing firm practices.
Yeah. People that, that's why even from a education side, Jeff's side, and then from more of a going through and actually executing these on construction documents, right? Those processes, I think, always comes down to why we are more effective is, again, practices being in place efficiency in the solutions. Like those are those things that you're thinking through. And we did touch on what Matt was saying earlier about AI, using it for onboarding those folks too, right? So like that's something as well. And I think that's definitely missed in our industry, which is some type of learning management solution. And curating it to people being on board. I think there shouldn't be, as much as you don't want to hire as a company somebody that doesn't have as much knowledge, but think about the fact that they're at a lower cost bracket typically, right? If you're newer in the industry, you're not going to be paid up here, you're going to be paid down here. And what imagine about being able to do that, but then train them your way. Because imagine how many, for as much as people want 4 years of experience, how many times do you have somebody that comes in with bad practices from those 4 years, right? So imagine having somebody new, giving them an LMS solution, teach them your way, right? At their pace, or what you're telling them to do, sit down and learn, right? That's curated. So
Because the alternative is you take the person who makes the most amount of money and then you have them train the one that's so they're wasting their time.
double dipping.
Something that AI LMS system could be doing for you while the high paid individual is actually doing the work or being more productive or whatever he or she needs to do.
Yeah, being built out at what they should be built out.
Right.
Well, ironically, through most of those conversations that I've had, those sadly are the small firms that are doing the training and teaching of Revit skills. And then after that person's had that firm for a few years and they get picked up by a larger firm that can pay them more money than the small firm can. So the small firms it's kind of a constant.
Are being the trainers.
The small firms are losing the money and being the trainers because they have to keep retraining people because they can't pay more to keep those employees around. That's a lot of the conversations I get.
And perhaps the business isn't as scalable as it could be.
That's true too.
Yeah. And maybe they don't want to scale it.
Yeah.
Which does happen.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to, so that's perfectly fine. And you'll just always have to do it.
Always have to deal with churn, yeah. I mean, that's pretty typical, 1 to 2 years in a smaller firm, and then you get brought on to a bigger firm. You got that experience that you needed. They were willing to onboard you because you're a lower cost rate, right? And they were willing to spend the time to train you. But imagine dumping all that knowledge into an LMS system and not having to train somebody that burden, yeah. And then also worry about who does what and how they do it.
And LMS, for people that don't know what an LMS.
Learning management solution, yeah.
But it
Just abbreviate.
It gets into that debate though, are these firms just training new hires or interns coming in how to pick up red lines, or are they training them how to design and properly understand how buildings are put together?
Probably most of it's picking up red lines.
Exactly. So it's really becoming more of a disservice to these younger generations coming into the profession.
Is what, that schools, you're saying, are teaching them how to pick up red lines?
No,
You're saying?
the small
Companies.
companies that initiate that.
Well, that's that same thing I was just talking about earlier. Those first, do you want somebody that has 3 years of experience coming in?
But what is that?
But then you
experience?
retrain them, like
Yeah.
that always happens.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, great, we got somebody who's experienced in here. They get in here and you're like, that's the wrong way to do it. We're doing it this way. Like, even though they request that, they hire that person anyways. For me, working in industry, I would prefer to have somebody that's greener, teach them the way that we do it, then move forward, versus somebody that you have to unteach those lessons they learned to go this way, right? But again, to each their own. That I was just saying that because I saw that there's a huge gap in the industry, and that's typically where innovation is going to come through, right? Is in those gaps, which is probably some type of LMS solution that's AI generated, but also filling those gaps of those individuals of just that not being a position anymore, and it's more just fed by some input, right? So
Yeah.
Did you read that whole thing? I have to get closer. You guys don't remember, I'm pretty blind. Who trains the trainers? The LMS solution at some point, right? Right now it would be us, you all too. But But at some point, there won't need to be, I personally don't think, right, a trainer, unless it's a request, a special request. I mean, at some point, LMS solutions are just going to be more usable. I mean, how much of us nowadays go through and digest information via YouTube, right? Some type of video format, training, or text prompt. I mean, how much have you learned from Chat GPT, Matt?
More than college?
Yeah, see, so like, it's all gonna be in this format that's out there. Like, hey, go look for this video. I'm trying to create this family, right? They search it, they find the video in their LMS system, and it's, you know, Matt's way of doing it, which is what we want. Just those types of things.
And you can still put in custom content to LMS, and that's, you know, you can differentiate yourself. You don't have to rely on what's out there. You can put in your own stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be the Matt's way.
Yeah.
Brian's way. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know what TWI is, Doug. The elements of TWI. Oh, yeah. Train well, instructor. Train within an industry. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're good topics. I love to bring up the AI topic because we're not completely there yet in our industry. There hasn't been a true one from the major producers yet introduced. So that's good though. Thanks everybody for joining. We're almost up at our time. It looks up. It's an old system, but it works. Yeah. Any following follow-ups?
I think Autodesk has done a great job, but it's more in the media and entertainment industry.
Yes.
More so than AEC.
Yeah.
I think they're probably leading the way in that sector.
But you're gonna see, I think, in the very near future, a lot more of these integrations with AI and really revolutionizing the industry
Quick.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last year was the first year. Well, I guess they talked a little bit about that in 2023, but 2024 was the big push. There wasn't anything that was like amazing or groundbreaking, right? But the churn in technology is quicker than it used to be for AI. So that'll be exciting. Well, with that, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Matt. Thanks, Jeff,
Thank you.
for the chats. And Jason will be back next week with me. But thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.